Wondering what's going on, eh? One question first. Are you feeling anything that can be construed as explosive cell death? No? Wonderful. Let's get started.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to FudgeMuppet. My name is Scott, and today we have a very exciting video all about the brand new game from Obsidian and Private Division called The Outer Worlds. This is a single-player, sci-fi RPG made by Obsidian, the creators of some of my favorite games of all time, Fallout New Vegas and Knights of the Old Republic 2. Not only is it just Obsidian, but the original creators of the Fallout universe, Tim Kaine and Leonard Boyarsky, have also been behind the creation of this game, and oh boy does this look promising. The Outer Worlds is set to release in 2019, next year, on PC, PS4 and Xbox One. There is so much to talk about with this one, so much that you guys will be interested in, and before I go on, let me instantly put a smile on everyone's face. This is an actual RPG with actual role-playing, choice, and consequence. So you can absolutely expect some awesome role-playing builds from us. So get excited and subscribe, because this is a game we will definitely be giving the full FudgeMuppet treatment. But as for this video, we want to break down the info we have and give all our thoughts. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your new adventure into the Outer Worlds. So in the Outer Worlds, you are a colonist upon a colonist ship that was lost in transit to Halcyon, which is the furthest colony from Earth, located at the edge of the galaxy. However, you were in a cryogenic state and the ship was lost for 70 years. This long amount of time in a cryogenic state is usually too long and dangerous for your cells, but the old guy from the trailer manages to wake you up safely. From here, the player-driven story will unfold, and you will find yourself in the midst of a deep conspiracy threatening to destroy Halcyon. All the while, corporations are vying for power and control. One thing of note, something that we really like, is the fact that they have emphasized player-driven, meaning player choice, consequence, and playstyle will all factor into how the story pans out. This will be epic for builds. We are really keen to dive on in. Additionally, the idea that you are a colonist in cryo for 70 years, and that is all we know so far, may mean that the character's backstory is a very blank slate, meaning that we have all kinds of room for awesome backstories, but also it means we won't be confined to a certain type of character. For example, if you are a serial killer, a soldier, a merchant, a prostitute, or a mechanic, it would be a plausible background. There is no predefined backstory that we are aware of as of yet. But I think this game will have lots of freedom in this regard. In Fallout New Vegas, the courier's backstory was pretty loose as well, allowing you to easily roleplay who you wanted to be. And I imagine with Obsidian's focus on roleplaying that this will be the case for the Outer Worlds. Speaking of roleplaying, this is a dream come true. Now, there are many great role-playing games, but many of them are isometric and made by smaller studios which just don't seem to have the same mainstream appeal, which I can totally understand. I personally like them, but even for me, I had to take a bit of time to get into them. However, there is a severe lack of RPGs with the same caliber of role-playing as games like Divinity Original Sin 2, but in the first or third person high-budget sort of mainstream game, which is why I am so excited to see this game, and I hope it is fantastic, because this will drive up some serious competition so that we may get more big-budget mainstream RPGs that actually give us role-playing experiences. With Cyberpunk 2077 and the Outer Worlds, the future of RPGs is looking bright. But as for the Outer Worlds, Obsidian has made it very clear in the trailer, Steam descriptions, articles, and gameplay that this game will be player-driven, having multiple ways to complete objectives, and a heavy emphasis on choice and consequence. I am loving it. There will be multiple factions and allegiances you can side with or betray. You can kill everyone and finish the main story as a complete and utter psychopath. You can smooth talk, intimidate, and lie your way out of problems. You can bash, slice, or shoot your way through problems. You can utilize tech skills such as science, medical, and engineering. You can use scientific prototype weapons like shrink rays to defeat your enemies. You can stealth your way around being an interplanetary assassin. You can lockpick and hack your way through locked areas. And by the way, there's no mini games for those features. You just simply interact, which I'm actually a fan of, because hacking minigames are boring as hell to me. But you can have companions that are armed with unique abilities and possess their own missions, motivations, and ideals. You can even be a leader-type character focusing on buffing your companions and letting them do most of the heavy hitting. There is also a feature called time dilation, which basically allows you to slow time temporarily, probably the replacement for VATS, so you can carefully plan your shots and have a bit of slow tactical thinking. In terms of gameplay, there is an abundance of opportunities and playstyles, which leads us to a lot of replayability as well as the potential for many character builds. There are skills, like I mentioned, and there will also be perks, and additionally, there will be a 6-letter acronym stat system similar to Fallout's special system, but we don't know the name yet. However, I imagine intelligence is one of them, because what is cool, if you look at the gameplay, we see the character have many opportunities to use the dumb option, so playing a stupid character like in the old Fallout games is a potential way to go. Even the companions recognize the captain isn't the brightest, so that's a neat little feature. The Outer Worlds also keeps track of all your interactions, mistakes, and tendencies, which has shaped the new system called flaws. Because every interesting character has flaws. If you were to be attacked by raptidons over and over, you may get prompted to accept the phobia of that creature. You have the opportunity to reject it, but if you take the phobia, you will receive debuffs when fighting these creatures, making your character weaker against them. But upon accepting that, you will be able to gain another perk. So it's like a trade-off, a flaw for a perk. It's a cool system. It's not just enemy phobias either. It can be fear of fire, fear of height, and many others, making for very unique characters. It's also a neat idea that your actual experience helps shape and form your character as well. If you have seen many of our builds for Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 4, and Skyrim, you will know that we love polarizing builds, maximizing certain areas, being super strong in some areas and weak in others. We love the trade-off and making characters that specialize, so this seems like a really cool feature. We are sitting here literally frothing at the potential for builds in this game. I can say with almost 100% certainty that there will be many builds that we will create for this game. So if that's something you're hanging out for, then definitely subscribe to FudgeMuppet. As for companions, it seems like there will be 6 to choose from, so I've heard, but you'll only be able to have 2 with you at any one time. Kind of like Knights of the Old Republic 2, or Mass Effect. They also reside on your spaceship, which acts as your base of operations, and personally I am happy with a smaller number of companions because to me that indicates they are more likely to be fleshed out and made more meaningful and well crafted. Companions in gameplay have been shown to interact mid-conversation, and that's what I hope for, the companions to be heavily integrated into the game, not just a bullet sponge that comments every now and then. There will be no romance options, however, in the Outer Worlds. It seems that this will not be a space dating simulator. And also, you will encounter all the companions in the first third of the game, which is something I really appreciate, because when you're getting new companions towards the end of the game, you don't really have the chance to connect with them the same. Companions will also have their own unique abilities, quests, motivations, ideals, as well as their own skills, which can be used to complement your character in the game. Might be useful to have a doctor if you're a dumb brute getting bullets thrown at you non-stop, or a sniper to cover you, that kind of thing. Some team synergy going on. Now, the Outer Worlds is not a giant continuous open world as the likes of Elder Scrolls and recent Fallout games. You will be taking your spaceship to planets, moons, asteroids, and space stations that will each have somewhat open areas. It's not linear by any means, but it's more like a hub system. So you can travel to one place and there's like a whole open section there. As much as open worlds are cool, there is a trade-off which is usually focus. The designers of the game have talked about tight scope, which leads me to believe they are trying to make the best game possible with lots of depth and high quality rather than being a shallow puddle. I love open world games, but I also love other RPGs. Some of the best RPG experiences I've had, like in the Knights of the Old Republic games, have been very limited hub worlds, and from what we've seen, the Outer Worlds is more open than those. So basically what I'm trying to say is that this has in no way dampened my excitement. We can't put into words how excited we are. This truly seems to be the spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas, which is one of my favorite games of all time. The amount of promise this game has is huge. I am so pumped. Be aware that we are extremely susceptible to the hype train. We've got first class tickets on the damn thing, so you should probably keep your wits about you, but I feel pretty safe getting all aboard. The role-playing, the stats, the skills, the factions, the choices, the flaws, the companions, the dialogue, even just the cool 1800s futuristic blended aesthetic just looks awesome. We haven't been more excited for a game in a long time, so lordy, this is refreshing. We'll keep you posted on more information as it comes out, but more than anything, our content will come out full force when the game actually releases and we get our hands on the new game. Builds, lore, guides, the works. That's what you can expect for the Outer Worlds from FudgeMuppet. If you haven't already, subscribe for that content in the future, and as always, there will be Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Witcher, and we also plan to get in on Cyberpunk, another promising RPG. Also, there will be more Elder Scrolls and Fallout builds coming between now and then. And check us out on Twitter to keep up to date with what's going on at FudgeMuppet. If you haven't already, I am at newberrycrunch, Michael is at oldberrychew, and Drew is at drewberrymunch. The links are in the description. 2019 is shaping up to be an awesome year. Thanks so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Scott from FudgeMuppet, and I'll be back to nerd out with you again in the next one.